Welcome to a cruise ship heist. Chapter 88. Dad. Georgie catches me in the elevator, almost as if Hunter had relayed to her that he was finished with me. You got to swan off and have lunch. I've had hours of negotiation with the captain, then head office, she says. We want you and Owlie to stay in Madeira, where a small film crew will be joining. They're sending me a replacement dancer. I want to move rooms, I counter, knowing my status has improved. Move rooms? It's all about respect. The company will understand that, and I'll be so glad to get away from that bed. But that's the most expensive bed on the ship. Was, I correct her. Plus, it's short of a life jacket. Mine too. I need to sort that out at the next lifeboat drill. Did he get the money back? She asks. But the lift stops, and the door opens, and guests join us. Our conversation is ended. One guest turns to me. Could I have your autograph, please? Sorry, I don't have a pen. Georgie passes me a pen. It really is my daughter who is the star, I say. The lift stops for us, but the lady is preparing her smartphone for a selfie. Georgie's look is ordering me to comply as she holds the door. I complete the brief encounter and Georgie lets the lift door close. It's easier and quicker to oblige than to waste time arguing the toss, she says, walking to her office. Is that a famous quote? Picasso. Come and stay in my new cabin tonight. It's easier to oblige. Georgie lets me into her office, closes the door and rounds her desk, putting a barrier between us. There are elements you must include in your show tomorrow, phrases you have to say. Can we do this at dinner? Georgie is in work mode. She sits down, placing her arms on the table. This is Boss Georgie, and I listen, but I feel battle-weary. Georgie, can we call Owlie up here? She's going to need this explained to her, too. E and I were chatting while you were with Hunter. She's very bright. She knows she needs a break like this or she'll still be on a ship when she's 40. Like you? Georgie looks up at me. Just as in Piquet, she appears to have a love-hate relationship with her age and position. It is a fantastic opportunity, and I've convinced her to take it. She has a shot at being someone, being an actress. I'm much happier with you as a mother figure rather than Jill. Georgie stares at me. We already have the family home, I press. She's upstairs in the communications room, being interviewed online by a writer in New York. They'll want you next. The machine is already turning, she explains. You're more important to me than fame. Can we be humans for a moment? I say, wanting to hit the pause button on all of this and talk about us. All this is doing my frickin' head in. 2 houses. We got away with it, I explain. Georgie is not playing ball. She appears in shock. What's up? I ask. She shakes her head, looking like she has been hit by a tidal wave. What if I'm pregnant? It's my biggest shock yet. Chapter 89. Empty. The stewards are helping me pack. My folded suits are carried out. I avoid noticing Mrs. L. Ray in the corridor just outside my door. I know it's her. Though her hair is up, she's wearing dark glasses, officer whites, and flat shoes. That's it, I really do travel light, I add, talking to the stewards. I start to move out and can see her set a stance to move in. Oh, the safe. I turn back, narrating what I know she is desperate to observe. Passport and a credit card. No idea why I bothered using it for just 2 things. I start to walk out again, but lead her into another false start. Oh, my bottle of tequila. I pull that from behind the television, then rush out to catch the man who is carrying my suits, leaving my case for the other steward to bring. She will want to search it. I didn't like that room. You have a much better stateroom now, sir. Follow me. My colleague will bring your case and make sure nothing is left behind, the first steward says. As I stride away down the corridor, the sound of my case being zipped open confirms her interest. It couldn't hold anything approaching 20 million. The luggage cases we bought in Cologne were given to crew days ago. I hear the bed lifted, and my guess is Hunter put her on that duty to discover the loss herself. He is seeking a reaction. The stateroom is a double room, nicer facilities and a large screen TV. Not that I've watched TV since I arrived. The balcony is fantastic, a private space to relax. I open my bottle of tequila and toast my upgrade, mindful I cannot get drunk again. There is a knock at the door. I wonder if it's Georgie come to congratulate me on the move. I dash enthusiastically to the door, only to find Ronnie. "You owe me a few explanations," she says. Ronnie can't help touch the ceremonial uniform that is temporarily hung on a wall hook. That takes me back. Nothing more than a stage prop now, I add. Was it any more back then? She is right, but she hasn't come here to debate the purpose of uniforms. I just witnessed an angry female security officer storm into Hunter Witulski's office. I wonder what that tells us. I'd say it tells us she was a plant at the airport. Were we helping the authorities with a drug bust? Ronnie asks. And Georgie picked up the money by accident? That catches me from left field. I'd never considered that one of Hunter's staff was an imposter of Mrs. Elray all along. I grab a glass and pour her a drink, thinking, if it was bait money, are Jill and Tony the target bad guys? No, the Embera recognized her as the wife of Elray at the village, unless an officer was chosen because she looks like the real Maria. Or is she really a drug wag on the run and Jill is Hunter's new partner? I've no idea what's going on, and every time I think I start to figure it out, I realize I know nothing and can trust no one. Do we get to keep the money? Ronnie demands. Chapter 90. Dressed to Kill. Tonight is a formal night, and that means the ceremonial uniform. Dressed, but not to kill. Georgie avoided the offer of dinner, but Ronnie has joined me in the dining room. I would be overdressed dining alone in the buffet and attract too many questions at a shared table in the restaurant. Aulie isn't working, but shouldn't eat here, so I didn't encourage her. However, we do need to talk. I want to hold on to my share of the money, Ronnie starts. I put a small amount into a bank in St Vincent, but I'd feel cheated if I lost the rest. We could have been shot. I know. We earned it. Do you trust Hunter? Not until he explains himself, she says. And we both notice Jill approaching. I pull out a chair and offer her a glass of wine, but she refuses. I'm celebrating, I tease. What? Jill asks flatly. I now have a stateroom with a balcony, not as big as yours, but nice. It also looks like we got a book deal. When did all this happen? Jill asks. It was happening while I was with you this afternoon. It was why Hunter was called off stage. He was in a conference call with the office in Miami about my leap. It's a long story, but it's gone viral. I've seen. After we left you, E and I were dragged into the office. Aulie was interviewed for 2 hours, then me for half an hour. You can see who the important one is. By whom? Jill asks. Someone at head office and a ghostwriter in New York. That's marvellous. Sounds like you won and I lost, Jill says. She is not showing her usual fun. What did you lose? Was it a cell phone? Someone found a smartphone in the theatre. It'll be at reception, Ronnie says. It wasn't a mobile, she says. Not to worry. I doubt it's in Lost and Found. Ronnie and I both sit poker-faced. I certainly know much more than I can let on. Much more than Ronnie. Have you eaten? Do you want to join us? I offer. No, but I will have that drink. The waiter brings a clean glass and pours from our bottle. We toast. To finding whatever it is, I say. Ronnie is quick to toast. Jill is slower. Was it in the theatre or the restaurant? Ronnie asks her. It could be either, Jill pauses. I could have left it in my room. I do that all the time. I think I've dementia setting in some days, Ronnie says. Hey, do you two want time alone? I can go. No, Jill adds. I'll drink this with you, then I have millions of things to sort out. I hope not, Ronnie jokes. Jill looks at her, not sharing the joke. Millions a lot, Ronnie laughs. A lot, Jill says, accepting the correction. Then she turns to me. I didn't know you wanted to be famous. It's a huge chance for her to be noticed. An actress needs a career break. But she needs to be careful, Jill says. I'll stress that to her, I say, ignoring the change in tone that Ronnie has also picked up on. A moment of fame can lead to disaster, Jill points out, in case I missed her point. Yes, I agree. Ronnie and I were talking about that. We knew soldiers who won medals or credits and then found colleagues to be jealous, others who felt they deserved something too. The prize became divisive. That's good advice, Jill says. Aulie arrives at the table. Jill necks her wine and stands to give up her chair. You listen to your dad's advice. I'd hate to see you hurt, Jill delivers with an edge, and she leaves. Ronnie is curious. Aulie steps across to the service stand for a replacement glass. She stole the money from under my bed, I tell Ronnie quickly. I never saw her as the thief, and she worried me just then. Ronnie is almost choking with amazement. She must have just discovered Hunter has stolen it back. Does she think we have her money? Aulie arrives back and sits down. The waiter fills her glass and pours the rest of the bottle between me and Ronnie, who mimes, WTF. Aulie is a good listener and takes our gentle warning, unlike the one that Jill left, which was far more sinister. Ronnie is not a good listener and can't wait to ask me questions.